bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game.
Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Well, Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. Today's Thursday, October 19th. 292 days into the new year, just 73 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Thursday. It's Fadernight. Open lines all night long. Now, at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Jon Rappoport here and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. I have no idea what John's going to talk about tonight. But then again, we never do we? Such a treat to have Jon Rappoport here with us every single Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Rita and I are taking the night off. Yes, we are. We're going to go see Eddie Izzard in Hollywood. Really cool little book signing thing at a little intimate theater, man. Oh, I cannot wait. We saw him last year at the Hollywood Bowl, one of the best nights we had all of last year. The Hollywood Bowl. We sat in a box right in front and drank wine and ate cheese. No kidding. I'm serious. It was just amazing. Our daughter Deanna, and man, so much fun. Well, this year we're going to go see him again in Hollywood. That'll be tomorrow night. But Saturday, after that, talking about taking nights off, right? Saturday night, I'm over at Coast to Coast AM, and my guests are Phil Proctor and Josh Gates. So the week continues. So come over and hang out with us over there at Coast. But tonight, it's another Fader night. Okay? The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long, and we'll get to those at the top of the hour. Of course, we have Jon Rappoport here in just a little bit. And, I want to do this. A little sneak peek for next week on Monday. Yes, Monday here on Fade to Black, we're going to have the one and only Dr. Robert Schoch. Yeah, and what we're going to do, of course, he's got a new book out with Robert Bivol about the Sphinx, and I have it here. It's great. So we're going to talk about that, but we're going to do, a little bit of the Sphinx, but we're going to do a whole lot of Giza action on Monday with some pretty cool, never-heard-before stuff. And with Robert Schoch, I can promise you, it's going to be amazing. Seriously. Okay, so that is Monday. We have a great week lined up. I've already told you, Shaw, the Loon Witch, is back again. This is our Rita, help me out. Is this our fourth year with Shaw or our fifth year? Fourth? I gotta figure that out. Is this Shaw's fifth time or fourth? Fourth year in a row with Shaw the Loon Witch. So now look, as you know, and if you've hung out with us the last 4 years, the amount of phone calls and how the show was done, it is packed. It is back to back to back. So the phones are going to be jammed. If you call and you can't, get through, you just have to stay on the phone. I can't dial you. You have to dial in. But it's going to be an amazing year. And also, if you were one of the hundreds and hundreds of people that have spoken with Shaw on this show over the years, how did those predictions go for you? I would love to. Just quickly, it's going to be a busy night on Thursday, right? It's going to be a busy night, but call and go, Shaw. Last year you said blah blah blah, and yes. Or, Shaw, last year you said, 2 years ago you said, and it didn't happen. Let us know. Would love to find out. Okay, so Thursday night, Shaw, the Loon Witch. Okay, and then in between, we've got some really cool UFO stuff. I don't want to make the announcements yet. I want to tell you what's going on, and some really cool consciousness stuff going on next week. So huge week next week on Fade to Black. And what a great week we had this week. And absolute Amalia last night, what an amazing show, right? Josh Gates the night before, Brian Lunduke on Monday, just an amazing week. And I thought last week couldn't be topped. Well, we did it this week. And we're going to top this week next week. Wow. I love my job. Yeah, I just love my job. Rita loves doing her thing more than I love doing my thing. And that's why this stuff just gets better and better. Okay? All right, follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Simple enough, at JChurchRadio. And we switched the broadcast over because I did my little pre-show thing with all of the Fadernauts privately. And then we switched it over for a YouTube feed this week. And it's like the fourth time we've done that. But I just thought, you know what? Let's do it. Maybe next week we'll just bust a move and broadcast the show out on, and not announce it. Just broadcast it out on YouTube. It's pretty funny when that happens. We have so many subscribers over at YouTube, right? But they are used to, getting the announcements of the new shows the next day, right? But just about pops up, live, and everybody comes flooding in. So we did that tonight, and I didn't want to announce it or anything. Actually, it was decided a few minutes before the show. So maybe we'll do that next week for everybody, too. So hello to everybody out there. YouTube, all the Fadernauts, welcome, and let's go, okay? Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio, Facebook, YouTube. Everything is Fade to Black. Do go over, if you haven't already, go over and like our Facebook radio page, because we do a lot of announcements over there and things that we do on this show that we pop up in Twitter. You may miss it in Twitter. You may miss it on the live show, and you're listening to a repeat. Go over and like our Facebook page, because everything is done over there. We've done some announcements this week concerning UniWiki, the new podcast, that project, new websites, Modern Masters, all of that stuff we stay consistent with over on our radio page. Sometimes we post news there if it's really cool, and sometimes the YouTube stuff goes up there too as well. So do. And also, if you need to contact us or comment and send us messages, you can do that also over on Facebook. Some people just do the Facebook thing. Like 3 billion do the Facebook thing. So I get that. So we stay on top of it, and you can go and like our Facebook page. Rita, why don't you, and I'll retweet it now that I just mentioned it, put up our Facebook link, and I'll retweet it here for everybody in Twitter. Okay. Yes. Breaking news. I have announced it all week this week. New Manna, our newest sponsor, and a great company, Emergency Food Storage. Okay, but it's for that time in need, emergency food storage. Maybe you didn't go to the market, right? And you need to feed the kids. Go bust out some New Manna mac and cheese. I'm serious. That's what I'm going to do tonight after the show. Man, that sounds good. New Manna mac and cheese. And it's supposed to be our food storage. They sent us, I got a big bucket, right? I got the big combo, whatever, family emergency bucket. And I've eaten half of it. I can't stop eating that. It's just good. Man, no GMOs, made in America, right? Family owned, the best. So I would like for you to please go visit our sponsor, New Manna. Use the promo code Jimmy when you get there. All you have to do, any order over $100, just get the family pack bucket, right? $150. You're going to get 5% off, and you're going to get an autographed Fade to Black T-shirt. There you go. Best deal on the net right there. So you get the best pricing on New Manna, and you get a Fade to Black T-shirt. So it's just a win-win. Go visit our newest sponsor, New Manna. Okay, Unity Workshops. I was just talking about that, and we posted everything over on our Facebook page. They're starting production on the first series of podcasts, and this first series is portals. So they're looking for researchers and experiencers on portals, right? Come and join the project. They need some production help, too. This is a community. I know that we've had a lot of signups this week, but UniWiki and the Unity Project is this community expanding. The Game Changer Network, Fade to Black, the Unity Network, uniwiki.org. This is the expansion of our community. It is gotten huge. It's great. Go look at the software. Look at the website. Look at the engine that is built for you. Go and check it out. Right now, they're looking for video or audio testimonials. So if you want to record one, pop a video testimonial up, you'll get into the new podcast. So just go and visit the Jimmy Church Radio Facebook page that I just announced. Go and check it out. Okay. Rita just put it up right here. Thank you, Rita. And that just got retweeted out. And is our Facebook link on here? We need that Facebook link, or did it already blow past me? Rita's too efficient. She's too good. All right. Where am I at? You can also go to the unityproject.org. You can contact John at modernmasters.org, or Rita right here at jimmychurchradio.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. It's only $2 a month. This week there was some confusion. We haven't had this for like a year. But it pops up from time to time. So I just want to announce to everybody, I think it's clear enough. Maybe it's just not. I don't know. Our podcast is not our membership area. The podcast is a podcast. It has its own software for Apple or Android. It's $2 a month. It sits over here. And that's one thing, $2 a month. Our membership area is different. Our membership area, yes, it has archives, and they are commercial free, but those archives are downloadable. So you can download them. It's a different thing. You can't download the podcast. You have no access to that. You have to use the software. You have to use those apps to play the show back. So it's two different things. So a lot of people from time to time will go sign up and become a member, and that's great, and then they go download the software thinking that they have an Apple or Android and they have the software and they're accessing our archives with that. That's not how it works. Okay? We wanted to do something special for the members, and that is to have downloadable files that are commercial free. And then you can play them back any way that you want. All right, so there's a difference there. I just want to be clear. So if you want to become a member, you want to become a Fadernight, go to our membership area. Don't forget all of our sponsors here. Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Ancient Life Oil, Sacred Skulls, New Manna, and, of course, Bearing Optics. We have done a complete website revamp, and go and look at the artwork. It is so cool. Go to jimmychurchradio.com right now and look at everything. So I think that, we have so many sponsors that we want it to be clear. We don't have, and this is the other thing with our website, and I think you'll appreciate the way that we've done this because we approach everything differently. We didn't want to just have little tiny banners going down the side that everybody else does. Maybe that's the best way to do it. Maybe it's really effective. I don't know, but I think that's boring, and it's not fun to look at. So we have very large, very cool, artistic, laid out banners that are big and they move around and they do things. This is done specifically to look cool. You know, we want our sponsors to look special and to stand out. We don't want it to look like other websites, man. To me, it doesn't have any taste. Our sponsors are very special here, and we treat them that way. They're family just like you. So go check out the website and look at everything that we have over there. All right. Happy birthday. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday today to Trey Parker. Trey Parker is 48. John Lithgow today is 72. John Lithgow made the list. Why? Because he played Lord John Wharfin, or Dr. Emilio Lizardo, in Buckaroo Banzai. He was also in the original Twilight Zone, the movie, that he played the part of William Shatner on the plane, right? But he topped it all off when he played Dr. Walter Chernow in 2010. You know, 2010 is 2001 is the movie. It is. But 2010 is right there. It's right. It's just a little bit, you know, but it's right there. You know, it's the story. Chris Kattan today is 47. Our dead guy's birthday today is Robert Reed. Yeah, 1932 to 1992, died at the age of 59. Yep. Mike Brady. That is all. Reed came from the old school where people, he just lived in a different era when people had a sense of decorum about them, right? Dignity. He kept his life and lifestyle private. Okay, it only came out after he died that he had some things going on, but it was private and he lived his life that way. And and out of respect to Robert, I'm not even going to get into it. He went the way that he wanted to. He died without publicity on May 12th, 1992 at the Huntington Memorial Hospital right here in Pasadena, California at the age of 59. Mike Brady. On this day in history, OTD. 1982, John DeLorean is arrested and charged with conspiracy to obtain and distribute 55 pounds of cocaine. But he was acquitted of the drug charges in August 1984, and then you know what happened in 1985? Back to the Future. And his name wasn't back in the dirt. He was okay. All right. Well, then he had to go to. Then he was all these lawsuits for fraud and everything else that came out with his car company, and it was a horrible mess. But we look back, the car was cool. The DeLorean clubs around the country are right there, and it's a pretty amazing story. John DeLorean. Fader fact: Earlier this year, British doctors found 27 lost contact lenses in a patient's eye. Is this thing on? Did you hear that? I said it. 27 contact lenses that the patient lost. I've seen pictures, by the way. It's pretty gnarly. 27 lost contact lenses. Disposable, right? So you're supposed to take them out every day? 27. Oh, man. Just picture that for a second. All right. Tonight, it's another Fader night with Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom live. Tomorrow night, we're taking the night off. Saturday, I'm over at Coast to Coast AM. My guests are Phil Proctor and Josh Gates. But tonight, it's Fader night. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275. Yes, lost in the eye. Yes, everybody's saying the same thing. 27 contact lenses lost. And the patient was going in for another operation. And that's the thing. And they were getting ready to put this patient under. And they were like, okay. And they were like, something's not what? And they ended up canceling the operation because of what they ended up having to deal with then. And they took out one, another, 27. 27. Mark just said they found my lost socks. That's good. That's good. Yeah, 27. Crazy. Well, earlier today, a bus-sized asteroid, yes, zoomed between Earth and the moon earlier today. But apparently it missed us. And this is the crazy thing. Nobody let us know it was going to happen. No media, nothing. Couple of websites mentioned it here and there. But unless you were clicking around some obscure websites out there like space.com, every single day, you would have missed it. All right? So I'm doing my public duty to let you know all about it. I'm going to give you the facts, right? It's better than nothing, I guess. You know, amazing, right? It was recently discovered on October 11th, last week. The size of a bus, 80 feet long. It was designated asteroid, are you ready? 2017 TD6. Flew by Earth at a range of about, are you ready? Are you just listening to me? 119,000 miles out. Yeah, that was its closest approach, which occurred today at 11:53 a.m. Pacific time. 2:53 p.m. East Coast. I don't know what that would be in Australia. I don't think does Canada even have a time zone? Canada just has one. But yeah, is that crazy? The average distance between the Earth and the Moon, just so you know, is about 238,000 miles, 239,000 miles. Depends on what, when, who, you know, and so forth. But so it was 119,000 miles out. Half the distance between the Earth and the Moon, bus size, and nobody mentioned it. What? Yeah, right, exactly. Eric just said, so you're saying the Earth missed the bus. I'm a little uncomfortable with that. And even if it was, you know, there was no threat, there wasn't anything there, I'm okay with finding that out in advance. I don't want to know after the fact that something that big buzzed this planet. 119,000 miles. That is way, way too close. And this is the nutty thing for me. Anything could go wrong. Anything. I mean, what if it hit another asteroid that was discovered 2 days ago? They discovered this on October 11th. I mean, just what if? Anything. And nobody tells us. No warning. That's why you need new manna. Right there. Right there. We're talking about, that's why you need new manna. That's why, right there, when Rita turned to me last month and said, hey, have you made plans? You know, if we had an earthquake today or the fires that are burning behind this house right now and something went down, you know, church, do you have a plan? And man, that was just a bad night, man, because I just laid in bed with my eyes open all night going, you know what? You know, that's just the conversation that we need to have right now. And you know, this is the night something goes down. And I'm not ready. So Rita, I said, let's go take care of this tomorrow. And Rita and I got up bright and early. It was a Friday because it was after the show on a Thursday night. It was Friday. And Rita and I went out, and I've got something in my eye. You guys are watching this on the bunker cam. And we went out. We prepped, man. We prepped all day. We went to 2 or 3 stores and made sure that we got the hardware. We got the software. We got glow sticks, big bags of those glow sticks. We got everything. Cases of batteries, right? Food. And we were buying everything, too, as well. Applesauce that you squeeze. I mean, we bought everything that we could and felt pretty good about it. Then we kind of came home and we boxed everything up, put it in, you know, the plastic cases and stacks of cases of water. And I felt pretty good. at least my family was going to have crackers, right? At least, and squeezable applesauce, and we would have flashlights. But up until that point, we weren't prepared. And here, now we have Numana, and we have the stuff that we got last month, and we're good to go. Why? In case a bus-size asteroid that we didn't know about until a week ago decides to fly by Earth. And the media doesn't tell us about it. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. So anyway, visit Numana. But I was stunned. I was stunned. And if you haven't seen it, this is the other thing. There's a couple of little media reports out there about it. I'm going to get out of here and get John on. That said, well, you know what? It's not that big of a deal because, and I'm not kidding here. You ready? You really can't see it with the naked eye anyway. Oh, what? That's the reason why you didn't want to tell anybody? That's why you didn't want to have a press conference about this? A bus-sized asteroid 100,000 miles out, cruising by, you didn't spot it until a week ago, and that's the excuse? Right? Am I angry? I'm just saying, I'm glad if something was going to go down, right? Also, I got to get out of here. A couple of days ago in Dubai, I posted pictures of this on my personal Facebook page. I don't think it got over to the radio page because it just came in too quick. Somebody sent me these images that were taken in Dubai of now we still don't know. We suspect that it was the Chinese space station, but it may have been a Russian refill vehicle too, as well, from the ISS. Don't know, right? We don't know. Both of them are big, like 8 tons of steel, right, blasting through the atmosphere, and it came through over Dubai, and nobody wants to fess up that it was their object. And you should see this thing flaming through the sky. Absolutely nuts. So anyway, I'm out of here. I got to get Jon Rappoport in, and I'll be right back. It's Fadernight, Thursday night. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Jon Rappoport is here with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. All of your phone calls will be at the top of the hour, but I'll be right back with Jon Rappoport. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in Deep Space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every single day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash, they all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots. No more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Good to be here as always, folks. You know, I covered the story, 3 weeks ago maybe, the opioid epidemic in America and in other countries. Opioids are medical drugs, painkillers, very heavy painkillers. And so, of course, as I'm sure many of you know, major stories are indicating that this is an epidemic now in America with addicts, many addicts. And there is criminal activity involved. And I described some of that. But this goes beyond the beyond. Because I found an insider, and I interviewed him this week, off the record, but he is genuine, I can assure you of that. He knows the score. He has been exposing could only be called the opioid crime network for some time. And I'm going to take you by the hand and lead you through this because it is mind-boggling. First of all, we're talking about drugs like morphine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, fentanyl, Percocet, etc. And we're not talking about patients who are in severe pain and get legitimate prescriptions from doctors. We're talking about people who become addicted, solidly addicted to these drugs, and they must have them. So, the estimate is that we now have more than 27,000 people a year dying from overdoses. And this includes heroin, but you have to understand that prescription opioids, like the ones I just mentioned, are now a very significant gateway drug leading addicts into heroin when they can't get the opioid prescriptions anymore. CBS News did a survey and claims that nearly 92 million adults, let me repeat that, nearly 92 million adults took a prescription opioid in 2015. That's a real mind-boggler. Okay. Now, the Washington Post, whom I slam every occasion I can, like a blind hog, finally found an acorn and did a quite good expose on the relationship of Congress to the opioid industry. And I'll get to the specifics as we go, but Congress has passed a new law in 2016 signed by Obama, which makes it much, much harder for the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, to shut down major opioid traffickers. That is a key, because that's allowing this whole insanity to spread. So when I got my insider in conversation, my first question was, how could a corrupt little pharmacy or little medical clinic in a small town in the middle of nowhere sell, as reported, 1 million opioid pills a year? And here is the answer, which my source confirmed. In that small medical clinic, a criminal doctor or doctors are writing somewhere between, let's say, 50 to 100 opioid prescriptions a day, like clockwork. In some cases, they're just writing the prescriptions without anybody even being there as a patient, just getting them ready. And then these, quote, patients are flooding in from all over the country. Many of them fly in once a month. They book flights once a month. They're not patients, right? They're dealers. They come to this little nowhere town in the middle of nowhere, to a tiny little medical clinic or pharmacy. They buy the prescriptions, and they either fill them right there in the clinic or they take them to a friendly pharmacy. Then they go home. They fly home, and they start selling the pills to the addicts. So I said to my source, well, where do these small clinics and pharmacies obtain the huge number of opioid pills? And he said, from distributors. I said, well, who are they? He said, well, these are legitimate companies. They are distributors. They may be distributing all sorts of medicines. It's their business. Then I said, all right, where do these big distributors get their opioid pills? From pharmaceutical companies who manufacture them. This is a sketch of the pipeline. The distributors and the manufacturers have an ongoing relationship. They know what they're doing. They know that the bulk of their product is going into street sales. They are drug traffickers. There is no question about it. So, then I said, well, tell me about the clampdown that the DEA tries on these manufacturers. He said, well, it's not like a sudden action, as some manufacturers try to claim. He said the DEA will have already made several prior visits and tried to convince the manufacturers to stop what they're doing, to no avail. They're traffickers. So I suggested to him that the distributors and the manufacturers have a sort of a nudge and a wink relationship. He said no. He says it goes much further than that. He left no doubt in my mind that these relationships between the big distributors and the bigger pharmaceutical manufacturers are undertaken and maintained with full knowledge that they are traffickers. Okay, that's boggling enough. So what we're looking at here is at the top of the food chain, drug companies who manufacture these opioids and make these huge shipments to distributors who turn around and do the same to these little pharmacies and medical clinics, which are scattered all over the U.S. They are in on it. They know what they are doing, okay? Now, let's get to this law that was passed in 2016, because certain members of Congress are involved here. They are involved. All right. Prior to the law being passed, the DEA could shut down a huge shipment of opioid pills coming out of, say, a pharmaceutical manufacturer, because they knew, the FDA knew, it was obvious to everybody, this is a drug trafficking shipment. This is not a shipment to regular pharmacies who are serving regular doctors who are prescribing to people who are really in severe pain. The DEA could just come in and shut them down. But then this law that was passed by Congress in 2016 and signed by Obama made the bar much higher for shutting down these operations. I won't go into all the details, but let's just say the law obviously changed wording so that anybody with a few working brain cells would realize, wow, this is now going to get into all kinds of legal wrangling, postponement, delay, and the DEA is eventually going to be put in a straitjacket to try to, when they try to stop these drug trafficking systems. So, now we turn to the Washington Post, who reached out, by the way, to Obama and also Attorney General Loretta Lynch for an interview about this law. Why Loretta Lynch? Because the DEA is organized under the Department of Justice, which means the Attorney General. They both declined to speak about the law. They declined. Baby. Okay. Now, the Post, the Washington Post, October 15th, 2017. Quote, deeply involved in the effort to help the drug industry, meaning to pass that law, was the DEA's former Associate Chief Counsel D. Lyndon Barber. While at the DEA, he helped design and carry out the early stages of the agency's tough enforcement campaign, which targeted drug companies that were failing to report suspicious orders of narcotics. In other words, this guy Barber was working against the drug industry while employed by the DEA. Then he turns around, leaves the agency, and goes to work for the drug industry. He's now employed by an outfit called Cardinal Health. The Post continues. When Barber went to work for the drug industry in 2011, he brought an intimate knowledge of the DEA strategy and how it could be attacked to protect the drug companies. He was one of dozens of DEA officials recruited by the drug industry during the past decade. Boom, boom, boom. In fact, an early version of this law, Barber wrote it while he was working for the drug industry. And there you have a sketch of this quite incredible pipeline, aided by Congress. And of course, you've got all kinds of people in Congress that are making noises about the horrible opioid epidemic now. But in fact, they voted virtually unanimously in the House and the Senate to pass this law. So I asked my inside source about that. He said most of them had no idea what they were voting on. They didn't read it. They didn't know. because it was one of these bills that included many different things in it, and this little time bomb that put a straitjacket on the DEA was in one little section of that bill. In fact, he told me, he said, if you look at video footage while the vote was going on, either in the House or the Senate, I forget which, you can see the members just standing around as they tally the votes, smiling, laughing, having conversations with each other, blah, 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 blah. It's a slam dunk, right? And most of them, not all of them, but most of them, had no idea what they were voting on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the pipeline reaches up to major pharmaceutical companies, who it turns out, the ones who manufacture, some of the ones who manufacture these opioids, are drug traffickers. And so are the distributors, which are legitimate companies that distribute medicines to pharmacies. They're drug traffickers too. And so are the doctors who are writing all the prescriptions. And so are the friendly pharmacists who are filling these prescriptions. And of course, so are the fake patients who turn out to be dealers who are flying into these out-of-the-way, nowhere little clinics and pharmacies. They're dealers too. And they're going home and destroying lives. Destroying lives from the top to the bottom. From the top to the bottom. So you've been listening to me for months now, doing periodic reports on the pharmaceutical companies and the disasters that they are visiting on the public. And here is another one. In this case, it's quite conscious. I mean, you can't deny it. They know what they're doing. I think the biggest pharmaceutical companies know what they're doing with all the toxic medicines that they release to the public. But here, there's smoking guns. We've got the smoking guns. Where are the congressional hearings? Where are the arrests? As I said, Loretta Lynch, Attorney General, the highest law enforcement officer in the land, during the time that this law was passed, now refuses to even talk about it. Refuses to talk about it. These pharmaceutical people should be in prison right now, awaiting trial on extremely serious charges that would garner them, 20 years in jail. I would say at a minimum. Nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing happening of that sort. Yeah, if they get caught with their pants down, they'll end up paying a fine. To the public, it could sound like a big amount of money, but of course it's only a drop in the bucket compared with the profits that they're making off of selling death to the addicts, to the public. And then you've got a horrendous situation on the other side, which is that for many of the patients of doctors who actually need these drugs on a temporary basis because they are in tremendous pain, say after surgery and so forth, I have reports that some of these people are being put through the meat grinder, in order to get these pills, filling out long forms and so forth, and the doctors in the hospitals are very reluctant to give out these drugs because they're afraid that they might get prosecuted. Sounds ridiculous. I mean, it is ridiculous. but the hospital is imposing these regulations. We have to avoid lawsuits on anything. So you really got to. And I know of a case where a patient who was in severe pain after surgery was refused these drugs. I mean, horrendous pain. And if it were not for her husband raising high holy hell in the hospital, she wouldn't have gotten the drugs at all. I mean, he was on the verge of possibly getting arrested for causing a major disturbance in the hospital, but finally the doctors gave in. So there's that side of the story too. 27,000 deaths a year is the official figure that we get. Could be more. And that's not even counting the number of people whose lives are destroyed because they are addicted, completely addicted, right? So who knows how many of those people we're talking about here. And then when you look at this unbelievable figure that I started out with, 92 million adults took a legitimately prescribed opioid in 2015. You can see what's happening to the country. I mean, you know, people talk about all kinds of esoteric things that are going on that are causing serious health problems and disasters and so forth, and I'm not arguing with them, but I'm just saying here in front of your nose, look at this. It's right here. You don't have to speculate. The facts are clear. So I hope at a minimum that you will help to get this story out far and wide so that people know what's happening and can, you know, the wave rises from the bottom, so to speak, to put pressure and more pressure and more pressure as more and more people realize what's really going on here, causing people to get very nervous who are in positions of power, and you never know what could come up out of the hopper when that happens. And that is my report for this evening.
You know, thank you for that, John. Sobering, no pun intended, right, to say the least. But I was just looking at the street prices, right? So Vicodin right now, and there are websites right now that you can go to tell you what you're supposed to pay on the street for Vicodin, right? I was like, you know, so it's $5, $6 a pill. Now, here are the largest resellers right now of Vicodin right now. CVS, Kmart, Kroger, Publix, Rite Aid, Target, Walgreens, and Walmart. Right? Trip on that. And so the cheapest 10 milligram to 300 milligram Vicodin, you know, the strong ones, the cheapest, and I'm looking right here, is CVS. $47 for 30 tablets. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, Now you do the math on that, right? So you're going in, you're popping 47 if you know, at a hardcore retailer, you know, maybe cheaper from your, you know, your drug distributor pharmacy. But nonetheless, look at the profit margin there, right?
It's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And this is the other thing, before we run out of time, with your whistleblower, and I think this is the most important thing here. We're not talking about a cocaine. We're not talking about meth. We're not talking about heroin. We're not talking about, you know, a distribution network that is not controlled by the federal government, right? Okay? Mm-hmm. They know where the distribution channels are for all of this, and they know who is selling what and where the quantities are running through. They know, man. It's a computer program. It's so simple to figure out what is going on here.
Sure. In other words, let's say they go into a giant pharmaceutical company and they say, "Oh, look at this shipment here, 400,000 opioid pills." Where did that go? Look. And you're trying to tell us that that you had no knowledge of this?
A town of 10,000 people, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But nothing is. You would think that with all of these public statements about, from the White House on down about the opioid, this epidemic that's going on right now, this crisis. Well, it would be really simple to start making a statement with the DEA, right? I would think, and the DOJ. It would be the easiest bust ever, wouldn't it? I mean, you don't even have to investigate. You just got to poke around on a computer somewhere.
But here's what happened was this law was passed, you see, as I said, that raises the bar on the conditions under which the DEA can stop one of these shipments and freeze it and say no, and now we're going to prosecute you. The bar is now raised unconscionably high by this law that puts a straitjacket on the government passed by Congress.
Yeah, but isn't this is the other thing? The one thing that gives Trump joy, and I understand, is going back and reversing some Obama era thing, right? Well, go to it then.
Yeah, but it's not the same. You can reverse an executive order because they're temporary, but a law, now all of a sudden, let's say that you're the CEO of a giant pharmaceutical company and you've got, 500 lawyers. As soon as a move is made, one move to stop one shipment, you're in court. You're jamming up the DEA and the Department of Justice with all kinds of injunctions and everything pointing to the law. And now there's a legal wrangle that could go on for years.
Well, and again, back to my point, and you're absolutely right. But my point is, why not make that vocal, right? And I'm talking about the White House. Why not
you bet. You bet. Absolutely. I agree. Why not make the announcement? We want to bust these people, but we can't because of Congress and what they did under Obama. Mm-hmm. And here's the law, and here's the section, and this is criminal.
Bingo.
This is a criminal law. Exactly. If you or I were president, we'd just step out in the Rose Garden with 150 reporters, and we'd lay it all out there. Right?
Yes.
And say to the people, what do you want us to do? Right.
Yeah. And that's his thing. That's what he does for sport. See, it's not us. It's not the Republic. It's Obama. It was another administration. Evil, sad, right? His favorite thing. And let's go and do something about it and get every Congress and the House and everybody behind him. He couldn't get Obamacare through. I think this would pass. I don't think there would be a Democrat. Well, there would be a few. But it would be very hard to oppose this across party lines. I think he would, but they won't. Yeah. The lobby is too strong. The money chain here. Oh, my goodness gracious. John, that's why we love you, man. And please go sleep with one eye open. They're looking at you now, brother. All right?
Everything's good. Okay, baby.
I'll talk to you, man. We'll see you next Thursday. Right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Jon Rappoport. Start off your day every day at nomorefakenews.com. Okay, it's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. Let's get this party started. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. Your phone calls are next. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
And you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly Ancient Life Oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go back, Lee Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader night. Welcome to everybody listening all around the world. I want to thank Jon Rappoport for coming in here strong tonight with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. You can go to his website, nomorefakenews.com, and go and check it out. He writes some amazing stuff. He's one of the very best. And tomorrow night, we're taking the night off. We're going to go see Eddie Izzard in Hollywood. But Saturday night, I'm over at Coast to Coast AM, and my guests are going to be Phil Proctor from Fire Sign Theater and Josh Gates, Expedition Unknown. Josh is over in Egypt right now. He was with us a couple of nights ago, and he'll be there for the next couple of weeks. So he's going to come over and hang out on Coast to Coast AM. So come and do the same. Come and hang out with us this Saturday over on Coast. But tonight, it is Fader Night, 323-825-5045. Or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. So let's do that right now. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Nathan in Ohio.
Hi, Nathan in Ohio. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been wanting to call and ask somebody this for a couple of weeks now, and it just kind of became relevant again because North Korea just made a new threat.
Okay.
And
what's the new threat?
Well, I guess it's the same old kind of thing. They're going to destroy us. Something that probably is just him talking. But my question to you is, do you think that they have upscaled, what kind of UFO secrets do you think North Korea has? Do you think UFOs are more prevalent there right now because of all this, them testing nukes and things like that?
Yeah, great question, Nathan. And I mean,
I don't think there's, when you look at just the hardcore data, and the one that sticks out for me is that nobody has used offensive weapons since Japan, right? And it seems like any time something could have gone wrong, something interfered, and there are plenty of not only the government side but civilian side reports of UFO interference with this. There's no question that this has actually gone on. What I do find strange is that we've had a lot of, there's been, I don't know the exact number, but there's been something north of 2,000 detonations of nuclear weapons around the world since World War II. 2,000. That's a very high number. And I don't know why ET didn't interfere with that. That's what's strange. Now, we haven't, the only one that's been doing testing lately is North Korea. And I don't know why they have been allowed to continue what they're doing. Now, the question is, what would happen if North Korea tried to use something offensively? Like they've been talking about Guam or South Korea or Japan or the west coast of the United States, and if that actually happened. So, or if I should say attempted. So there you go. And I'll tell you something else that I find really strange, Nathan, and this is the more sobering part about this. Our missile defense system, THAAD and so forth, we have plenty of destroyers and naval groups that are out there in the East Pacific patrolling and looking for stuff like this. And I'm not so sure right now that the success rate is 50%. That ain't good enough, right? That's just not good enough. And what if, something gets fired towards anywhere? It doesn't matter, the west coast of the United States or Japan or anywhere, and it doesn't even have to hit the United States. It just needs to detonate above the United States. Then we get the EMP and our electrical grid shuts down and we go into the Stone Age. That's much worse to me than actually hitting the ground. So, I mean, what if it sneaks through our defense system? And there's nothing stopping it. And, we have less than 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's it. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. What can you do in 30 minutes? In Los Angeles, if we need to, 30 minutes doesn't get you out of, you can barely go out of your house to 7-Eleven and back in 30 minutes. So nobody's getting out of town. Okay, that ain't going to happen. Nobody's going underground. You have to kick back and just ride it out. And that's the biggest thing. So would ET interfere? I hope so. No reports of UFO activity over North Korea, nothing like that. But I would hope, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I've thought about it often. I think about it all the time. Thank you for the phone call, Nathan.
Yeah. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you. A sobering phone call. That is something that we certainly have to kick back and consider. That is something that you just don't dismiss. You just can't. You cannot do it. It doesn't work that way. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Debbie from Sacramento.
Hi, Debbie from Sacramento. How are you?
Good, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's Thursday night, Deb. It's Thursday night. What's on your mind?
Well, I was thinking about what you were talking about earlier with the asteroid, and the fact that we couldn't see it meant that they kept it from us, whereas I think it was over a week ago, there was the other one coming in at, what was it, 45,000
It was
miles
closer than that. Yeah. That was a close one.
Right, so they told us about that one because you could see it with the naked eye, but this one, since we couldn't, that was their justification to keep it from us. So, it makes me not trust them, but I think if ET would shut down our nuclear missiles, which they have, I'd really like to think that they would interfere with keeping those asteroids from doing something cataclysmic to the planet. I mean, we have wars all the time, and we're launching, and, they see what's going on, but it's not destroying the planet. It's killing people,
right,
but it's not destroying the planet.
Right.
So when it comes to something nuclear or coming from space that they could intervene with, I think they have been. I like to think that.
Right. I tell you what is pretty fascinating with that. And just stay with me for a second. The Anunnaki, why did they leave? Things were good here, right? Things were good. They were gods on this planet. They're mining gold. They're hanging out. They've got slave labor, right? Your aunts and uncles were their slaves. And they had it good. But something made them go, we got to split. Now, why would you leave this beautiful planet? Why would you leave? Did they know something? Now, what is it that they knew? What is it? Did they know? Did they have mapping, star charts that there was going to be something cataclysmic that was going to impact this planet, and they didn't want to be here? And while Nibiru was cruising by 2,000 years ago, right, they hopped on Nibiru and split because this beautiful place that they were on was going to be no more at some point. Did they know something? Think about that. And so would they come back and run interference to save this planet? It's kind of a trippy thought, isn't it? If you kind of, yeah. I'm trying to figure out why they split. So maybe that was it. Was it 2012? Well, no, that kind of blew past us, right? So it wasn't then. But when we have these drive-bys, it makes you stop and think. Also, somebody posted this, and I didn't think about this until I saw it on Twitter. I don't know who posted it, but I'll thank you now, which was maybe that asteroid today wasn't an asteroid at all. Maybe that was an alien craft.
Oh, okay.
Right. And that's why we didn't have the big announcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
An alien craft, a probe, something, maybe that was it. You can't see it, so don't worry about it. Oh, really? Okay. All right. Deb,
you'll be incinerated so fast you'll never know what hit you anyway, so just,
a plasma beam weapon. Right. All right. Thank you for the phone call, Deb. Be safe up there.
Thank you, Jimmy. We'll see you Saturday.
We'll see you Saturday. Thank you so much. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy?
Yes, you're live.
I am? All right, man. I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, man.
All right. What's your name?
My name's Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. How are you?
Good. It's so good to talk to you. And I was just wondering, have you been talking to David Wilcock? Is he okay and all them guys? I was just kind of wondering, sorry to be off the subject a little bit.
It's never off the subject. I won't say exactly why or what, but Rita and I were hanging out. Okay. Rita and I were hanging out with Wilcock Saturday night, all night. So there you go. So absolutely. He's good. He's well. He looks great. We ate some wonderful food, and he played guitar and sang for us. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
That's awesome. And are you doing good too?
Yeah, life is good. Life is good.
It sounds like you're doing good, and I hope you are.
All right, Aaron. Thank you for the phone call. Anything else? Any questions?
Thank you, buddy.
Okay, you got it. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I can't really say who, what, or why or anything like that. Private stuff's private. But we were hanging out with the Wilcock on Saturday night. It was pretty cool. Had a really good time. I don't have pictures to post. Maybe I will at some point. But there you go. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Who's calling?
Okay, this is Captain.
Oh, hey, Captain. You're breaking up a little bit, man. But how you doing?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. What's going on?
Okay, listen. I want to go back to that thing about the Nemesis or Planet X. It is indeed a ship. That's why the announcement was not made, because they don't want that exposed to the public.
I've heard that kind of run around a little bit, that it is some massive mothership, and they just don't want to talk about it, and they know this. I'm gonna say, Captain, that's a fascinating thought, and I'm telling you, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. You know, what if Nibiru, the way that the Sumerians talked about it and wrote about it, that they called it a planet, but it was like, you know, just a massive ship. NASA is saying that it's 10 to 20 times the size of Neptune. That's pretty dang big. Or maybe it was Earth, or was it Neptune? I don't know. But either way, it's big. But wouldn't that be cool, though, if it was just a massive ship? Have you watched, I'm going to ask everybody really quick, are you guys watching Orville? Are you watching that show?
The Orville is excellent.
Isn't it excellent? I mean, it's excellent on every level. It's funny, you know, okay, you know, it's Seth MacFarlane, so you would expect. But the show itself, dealing with comedy and science fiction and also social messages. It's a very, very deep show. But the show that they did, not last week, but the week before, about just that, right? This massive ship that turns out to be a planet on the inside of it. And the people that were living there didn't know. It kind of felt like flat Earth in a weird way, too, as well. It had a bunch of different things in there all spun in. But what a fantastic show. The Orville is great. Speaking about what we're talking about right now, right? I mean, what if? What if?
But Jim, just imagine this. What if this program, the Fox television, was doing what is called a soft disclosure?
Yeah, of course.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, of course. Why not? Of course. You have to assume that. Look, if you don't assume that, you're going to be wrong. You have to assume that. You have to. You just have to. You cannot go off when you can't go off message here. Everything is soft disclosure.
Right, because you know what? It's pointing to that we are now alone on this planet, and that's exactly what it's pointing to.
You cannot dismiss one thing, and I will drive this home, Captain, until you guys are so tired of hearing about it that you tap on the mat 3 times and call Uncle. Okay, listen to me. I just read a report today on RT, a story that is accusing the United States media of all being government controlled with their own messages going back to the public, right? And here we are, and I look at RT, or I look at all mass media, and I look at RT, and RT is nothing but a media wing of the Russian government. Who cares, right? You have to expect that. So if if they are accusing us and we are accusing them, and all of our distribution networks, not only through the media, but for entertainment too as well, all of it comes from a point source. And there has to be messages there, not only political, but of the ET kind, of the big pharma kind, of the oil industry, right? All of it has this hidden message and commercialism to it. It's all there. So when you ask me, could there be, soft disclosure? Of course. Everything is programmed with messages. All of it. Do you choose to ignore it? You want to use it for entertainment or, subliminally, the ministry of truth? 100%. 100%. I will never go off message there.
Well, once again, Jimmy, we're on the verge. I'm telling you.
I know.
This year, 2017,
yep,
we will have disclosure.
Yep. It's feeling that way. It's feeling that way. It's just feeling like it is, you know. And I'm excited about it. And something is going to break. You know, we have big things going on. You've got Tom DeLonge with what he's doing. You've got Greer with what he's doing. You've got Bassett with what he's doing. You've got what is happening in Washington right now. We have sightings in the sky every single day. You know, and the programming that is going on, like Orville, People of Earth, right? You know, when you watch People of Earth, and I know you do, Captain. Don't tell me you don't. I know you watch People of Earth.
Oh, yes, I watch it. Right. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do. And when you watch People of Earth, are you sitting there going, this show was made for me, right? They are writing about everything that I've been yelling about, right? And it's a comedy, but you're sitting there going, this is the message, right? Well, what does that tell you? You know, that is written with intent. It's funny. It's great. I love it. We watched every episode, both seasons. But you understand what I'm trying to say here. You know, you're watching it as an insider, right? You're watching it as an insider. But think about the millions of people that are watching that show that have no idea what a starseed is, what a reptilian is, what a gray is. They don't know these things. They don't know about, the abduction phenomenon and contact. So they see that show, they laugh about it, but they're getting the facts. They're getting the facts out of that show.
Education. Yep. And Jimmy, you know what's so fascinating about this whole thing, and to all the Fadernights that are listening and listen to Jimmy and my voice, I want to say this. Last year, when we had all those emergency broadcasting, testing of the broadcasting system, is getting you ready for a major announcement. Please be ready for this because it's coming.
Well, we're ready. It's the rest of the world. That's what you got to question. Hey, Captain, behave and be well. We'll see you Saturday night over on Coast, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'll be there on Coast, sir.
You got it, Captain. Thank you so much. Another great phone call from the Captain. All right, let's keep this going. Phone lines are open, by the way, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. So with that, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Mike from Dallas, Oregon.
From
Dallas, Oregon.
Dallas, Oregon. There is such a city.
Yeah, it's the other big D.
Yeah, right. How you doing, man?
Well, I'm good, Jimmy. Hey, a friend of yours, mutual friend, Frankie Fourfingers, said I should call you.
Okay. How is Frankie? Has he grown that extra digit yet, or is it?
No, he's trying to lose more.
Yeah, that I believe. A tragic gardening accident or something. But what's on your mind, man?
Well, I had told him. He's told me about the ASETI gathering and everything, and long before that, we've known each other for about 10 years, I guess, and I worked together doing a lot of different things. And I had relayed an experience to him that happened once to me, and he was gung-ho for me to share it with you. And I don't want to take up a lot of your time because I know you got a lot of people that want to talk to you. But I thought, well, okay, John, I'll call and share my story if it's something that he wants to hear. So that's why I thought I'd give you a call.
Okay, what happened?
Well, it was. Beg your pardon, probably about 20 years ago, I was working at the time on my commercial certificate for my pilot's commercial certificate. And we were on a flight in Southeast Oregon going towards Klamath Falls from the southern part of the state at about 12,000 feet. And out in the distance, it was a clear day with scattered clouds at that altitude. And summertime, late summertime. A beautiful day, actually. But out in the distance in front of us, we saw, or I saw it first, I was in the right seat, this object that looked like the only best way I could describe it was like a round, it's going to sound funny, but this is what it looked like. You remember those disco balls from back in the 80s.
Absolutely.
You know? It was a round sphere that was reflecting. It was like it was covered. It was like it was covered in a mirror. It was reflecting the clouds, and that's in the sun, and that's what caught my attention initially. And as it got closer, and at the point that we saw it, that I first saw it anyway, before the gal that was actually flying in the left seat saw it, was probably 40 miles out in front of us. And I asked her, I said, can you see what I'm seeing? And she saw it. And as it got closer, and our speed at that, we weren't flying a real high performance airplane. We were doing probably 140 miles an hour, not real fast. But as this object got closer, it was approaching us from the opposite direction. And it was, I would guess, probably 500, couldn't have been much more than 500 feet below us. As it got closer, the enormity of this thing, the size of it was incredible. I mean, it's like I can see this still, and it wasn't going fast. It couldn't have been going much faster than we were. And as it got close, within probably 10 miles or so, this object was, I swear, had to be greater. The circumference had to be at least that of a football field. It had to be 300 feet in circumference or more. It was massive.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Let me jump in, and I'm going to hold you through the break because I've got to go to a break here in 60 seconds. So I'm going to hold you through, and then we'll, we've just gotten started, and we'll do that after the break. But what was your altitude?
We were at, as I recall, about 12,000 feet.
12,000 feet, and now when you said it was 10 miles away, but now you can see. So is it closing in on you guys?
Yes, it is. It was coming from the opposite direction, directly towards us.
Right.
And we were.
It was Mike, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mike. Was it? Do you think that it was closing in on you? It knew that you were there.
That's a real good question. I don't know. I just know that when I saw it, when we both actually saw it, it was coming towards us. So I never thought about that.
Right.
But there was no question that it was coming directly at us, on an opposite heading, directly towards us.
Right, because there's a lot of sky out there, right? It's not behind you.
And that part of Oregon it's remote.
Right.
It's a very remote area.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Okay, listen, I've got to take a break, so you stay right there. I'm going to put you on hold, and then we'll finish all of this when we come back. Are you cool with that?
Sure, you bet, Jimmy.
I want to hear this whole. I got to hear this. All right, so let's take a break right here. We got Mike on. Frankie Four Fingers, you're a troublemaker, and it's going to be great because we're going to cause some trouble right after the break. Stay right there, Mike, and I want to hear the rest of this. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. And last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numanna banner on jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy.
Do you worry a lot? Whether you're a college student, busy professional, parent, or grandparent, ongoing stress and elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol can rob your memory, your health, and your future. Now you can combat the effects of stress and anxiety while improving your memory and recall at the same time with the dietary supplement Calm and Clever. Studies show that the ingredients in Calm and Clever reduce cortisol by as much as 30% in 1 to 2 weeks. Call 1-800-758-8746 or calmandclever.com.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRAradio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Very simple. At JChurchRadio. Come hang out with us. All the chat rooms are open. We have Spreaker. We have KGRA, The Planet, and, of course, Twitter. And hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Right now, we've got Mike on the phone from Dallas, Oregon. And I don't think Dallas is real, but that's okay, Mike. We'll go with your story. And, okay. So you work with Frankie, or maybe Frankie works for you, or, I don't know the...
we work together doing aviation accident recoveries, actually.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Does he? Let me ask you this before we continue. Does he behave? See, you don't have to answer. That's what I expected right there. Okay, so you guys, that's what you do though. There's an aviation crash, right, or something.
Yes.
Plane tips over in the wind. What have you? But that's what you guys do. You guys you're on the scene, and are you? Do you guys work with those FAA, investigators too as well?
Right. Yeah, we work with the NTS. Well, we work not actually with the NTSB. We assist the NTSB and the FAA, with the investigation. What actually happens is when there's an accident, and we spent the better part of almost 2 weeks now. Spent a week in the field on a real bad crash in Southern Oregon, but we get called by different aviation adjusters that we work with for a number of years, and if there's an event, an accident, they'll call us and say, "Hey, we've got this, such and such. We need you to go take care of it and get it cleaned up," and that's what we go do. So it's interesting. It's not for everybody.
No, that's an intense gig. And I wanted to say this really quick. My favorite movie dealing with that is also time travel. It's a movie called Millennium. Have you ever seen it?
No, I never have. I don't think I
Okay,
have. No.
Millennium. Just write that down. It's Chris Christopherson and what's her name? The Charlie's Angel that replaced Farrah Fawcett. What was her name?
Oh, Cheryl Ladd?
Yeah, Cheryl Ladd. So it's Chris Christopherson and Cheryl Ladd. And Cheryl Ladd is the time traveler from the future. And it deals with a crash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it deals with a crash.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, well, let's move on from that. Okay, so let's get back. You guys are at 12,500 feet. This object that looked like, I'm resetting for the audience, that looked like a disco ball is closing in on you guys. It gets about 10 miles away. You're starting to see the size of this thing, and now you're guesstimating at this point that it's huge, maybe 300 feet across. That's pretty monstrous. Okay, so what happens next?
Well, it was, like I said, it was a round sphere. And the best way I can describe it at that point, it looked like it was just a round mirror, a ball that was a mirror because it was reflecting everything. And you know, the interesting thing is if you weren't really looking for it because of what it was reflecting in the clouds and such, you'd never see it. That's what caught my attention initially. Well, as it got closer, like I said, the enormity of the size of it became apparent to both of us. And as it passed below us, it passed below us. And it was the closing speed. Like I said, we were probably doing about 140 miles an hour. It couldn't have been going much faster than that in the opposite direction. So, the closing speed was close to 300, I guess, but it was so big. We were just mesmerized. We're like, what the heck? What is this? As it got close, it passed under us. We looked out. She looked out her side. I looked out my side. I could see the reflection of our airplane, in this thing. It passed behind us, and I took the controls from her, and I banked the airplane about 45 degrees to the right because I wanted to see it. As it passed behind us, it passed maybe 2 or 3 seconds behind us, and this is the crazy thing. It made a 90-degree, and I mean a 90-degree turn to the southeast and accelerated and took off, and within probably less than 3 seconds, it was gone. It was out of sight. But nothing can make a 90-degree turn. This thing made a 90-degree turn, and it was gone.
Now, the obvious things come into play here. Number one, your aircraft, right? That goes without saying.
Yes, sure.
Don't even need to say it, but I have to. So your aircraft. You've seen everything when it comes to aircraft, every type. You've either seen them fly, or you've seen them on the ground, you've seen them crashed, right? You've seen it all. So when you turn around... you're a professional, and you turn around and say something like this. What do you think you just saw?
Well, that's the thing. I still to this day don't know. And we continued our flight because we were on a flight plan to a specific point. Mm-hmm. We got to this point, and we stopped and ate and talked about it. Because we were both attending a flight curriculum at a college, which I don't want to name. Mm-hmm. And so we decided couldn't share this with anybody. We couldn't talk about it. And so we never did. And the interesting thing was, I guess probably 10 years ago, it's been bugging me for a long time. I tried to reach out to this gal to talk about it. And I did get a hold of her, and she just said, that's behind me. I don't want to talk about that ever. It's in the past. Let's don't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. She didn't want to talk about it.
What about reporting it? Did you get on the radio and try to find out if there was, and what about radar? Did anybody else see it?
No, we never talked about it. We were near the interesting point is, in Klamath Falls, there's a large military base there, an air base. Mm-hmm. But we didn't report it to the center that we were talking to. We didn't tell anybody about it because people think you're they think you're a nut, and they don't believe you, and they laugh at you, and they scoff at you. But I know what we saw.
Well, this is the thing. And I understand that, and we hear this all the time. And coming from you, I mean, it just verifies that. Here we have an object in the sky that could be causing danger to other flights out there and commercial flights. You should, what do you do in a situation like that? You want to report it, to let everybody else know, but you don't want to sound crazy, so you can't. You don't want to lose your pilot's license, right? You don't want to.
Exactly.
You don't want to get grounded.
And unfortunately, that wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
No, it would not be the first time it's happened. Now, when it got to its closest point, what did it look like?
It looked like, oh my God! It looked like a miniature plant. I mean, it was just this. It was like a miniature, not miniature, but it was this massive ball, It was like a round, like it was a planet that was just. It was totally. I mean, it had a definition to it. You could see the shape of it, but it was entirely reflective. Everything. I mean, it just reflected the sky, the sun, the clouds, us. But There was no doubt that it was a round sphere. It was massive. I mean, my God, it was. That's what we were just in awe and probably a little bit of shock about when it passed beneath us. It's like, my God, are we seeing this?
Yeah, and
we did.
When did this happen?
This would have been, I bet this would have been about 20 years ago. It would have been about 1997.
So no cell phone cameras.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah, no cell phone cameras. No. And so nothing, obviously, you would tell me if you took a picture, but you didn't take any pictures.
No pictures.
Do you share this story, this encounter today with, you and your buddies are sitting around, you and Frankie Four Fingers, of course, because Frankie is nuts, but what about, and I say that in the kindest of ways, but he is completely...
he's great. He's a great guy.
Totally great. But what about you and your buddies, sitting around the campfire? Would you bring this up?
No.
Right.
I've shared it with my wife, and she... in a quiet way, just kind of, there you go. That's
right.
Kind of what I get. It's like, I don't, it doesn't matter. We saw it, so, but no, I don't, because, I guess if someone was telling me something about what they had experienced, I'd probably share it, but just to come out with, no, probably not,
Right.
But like I said, with other people I would, but not everybody, not everybody can think or believe that there's things out there, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was.
No, you don't.
I do know that aerodynamically, nothing that we know about, even still, can make a 90-degree turn. Every turn has an arc to it, but it can't make a 90-degree turn, but this thing did.
And it was so, the size of it is what I find fascinating here. And that's when you go into another zone, because when you see something like this, and now you see UFO shows and you hear people talking about it, and then you can kick back and go, well, you know what? They're not that crazy, right? That's the confirmation that because people don't know what they are seeing, if it is some secret technology that we're in possession of, or if it's ET itself.
Right.
We don't know, but what we clearly know, and that now, is that it is unexplainable. You can't answer that question. You just don't know what it is. It doesn't make you crazy, but you saw what you saw, and nobody's going to change your mind.
That's right. And it's as clear today as it was then. And I mean, I can replay it just like a movie in my mind, and I can see every detail, still. So it's, Frankie wanted me to share that with you.
No, and I appreciate you coming out of the closet and hanging out with us, and I'm sure now you feel better, right? That's the most important part. Is you got to talk about it. You've got to talk about it. And before I let you go, I've got other calls on hold, and if everybody listening right now, just stay right there. We'll get to you. It's okay. When you hear the conversations out there about the military, black projects and secret projects, or the UFO question, and if they're holding, now right? Either they have some kind of crazy technology that they're not letting you know about. You're in the business, right? You're in the aviation crash recovery business. That's what you do. And now the question is out there, right? They must know something. They must know.
It's it makes you wonder, there was another incident that I know you don't have time for. John wanted me to share it also, but I'll say that for another night. I don't want to take up. You've got other folks that want to talk to you too. So I can't quite figure out why these things seem to be happening, but they seem to be happening. So yeah. Well, I look forward to that, and give us a call next Thursday night. Oh, actually, no, you can't next Thursday. Well, you should actually call in next Thursday. Shaw the Loon Witch is going to be here, and she'll read your fortune. Oh, really?
Yeah. That's next Thursday night. It's a big show. We do it every year with her. Thank you so much, Mike, for coming out of the closet, man. And it means a lot to this audience when they hear from somebody like you that comes out and shares this kind of stuff with us. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Jimmy, for taking my call. Appreciate it. And you've got a great show, and thanks very much for everything you're doing for everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And go tell your wife I said hi, okay? That you're not crazy.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, tell her I said that. Thank you so much, Mike. Behave.
I'll do that, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you,
All
man.
Right, bye-bye.
Great phone call right there. Fade to black, man. That's why we do this show. You knew I was going to say that too, right? Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy, this is Kelborn. How's it going?
Oh, the man with the pipes. Man, it's been like 2 years, man. When was the last time you called in?
Oh, gosh. It had to have been the beginning of summer.
Yeah, it's been a while. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing a lot better now. I've been kind of under the radar, but I'm back with a little bit of an ET experience story for you.
What do you got? Kelborn?
So, early this summer, I was at some type of like a seance type of thing, and we happened to run into a woman who was doing past life regressions.
Oh,
I figured, I'll sign up for that. I've never done something like that. It'd be kind of cool to figure that out.
So
and this kind of dovetails on my previous ET experience story with the antiseptic medical room smell thing. So, what happened was they were leading the past life regression, I guess, was she started with like a meditation style thing. And we were getting deeper and deeper into that meditative state. And then I projected out of my body, totally not even intentional. And it was almost surreal. I shot up through the sky and I was in space on the outside of this craft. It almost looks like something from Star Wars. I can't really explain it very well, but it was like this modular craft, almost like someone had put it together like Legos or something, is the way I would explain it. And next thing I knew, I was on the deck of this thing, like inside this craft, standing there, and this being was at some type of console just doing his thing. And I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe this is happening type of thing.
Right.
Now, for anybody that's on TweetDeck, I'm going to go ahead and retweet the photo I posted earlier. It's actually from, a video game, which I thought maybe was a little bit of a soft disclosure type of thing, because the alien that was included in this video game, there, I just retweeted it.
Okay.
Looks almost identical to what I saw.
Really?
So I figured, okay, maybe they have some sort of knowledge that we don't,
Oh, I saw this earlier. Right. It's a really cool picture. What video game is this from?
This is actually from the Mass Effect series, which is one of my favorite video games of all time, because it's all about space and aliens. But so I'm standing on the deck of this thing, and I'm just standing there totally stunned, like I don't even know how to react. And all of a sudden, this thing, his head shoots up because he kind of notices something ain't right here.
Right.
Turns around, looks directly at me, and walks up to me, nose to nose. I mean, the thing didn't really have a nose, and just stares at me. And I wasn't threatening. It was just kind of like, how the heck did you get here type of thing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I snapped right back into my body. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
Did you record it? The session?
No, I didn't. I wish I thought of that beforehand, but
okay.
Michelle was there, so if anyone talks to her, she can confirm that happened.
Yeah, right on. How is she, by the way?
I'm not too sure. We had to part ways, but we're doing our own thing. So
okay. Well, we don't need to visit that live on the radio.
No,
so
right.
let's get back to the session. Vivid.
Oh boy, it was like it happened. I mean, I could look out, reach, touch, see, feel, smell, everything.
Right. Man, see, this is what's cool. As I talk to you, I know you, right? So I'm just picturing this going down. And I know that it did, but you are a very sensible, smart, and I wish the audience can see who you are. Post a picture of yourself. So anyway.
I think Karen actually posted something. Maybe she took it down. I'm not sure, but
okay.
I'll find something.
What a fascinating... okay, now, this nose-to-nose thing... was there any communication? Not verbally or otherwise, man. Telepathic?
Not. It was more of a feeling type of thing. More of like a, how the heck did you get here type of thing. Like they're wondering, where did you come from or whatever.
Right.
So, and I was like, I didn't know how to react. I didn't know how I got there.
Is there a follow up to this?
There is a follow-up, and if I have time, I'd love to go into it.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
That would be the seance part of it.
Okay, let's
do
it.
So during the seance, and obviously with, her name is escaping me, Karen Dahlman, I think.
Oh, this is with Karen. This is with Karen.
No, it wasn't. But the reason I went to the seance was because her show was my absolute favorite Fade to Black of all time. It was so fascinating.
Okay. Go ahead.
But so I go to the seance with the idea that, I want to kind of communicate with the people that visited me in that other vision that I had because it was the only one I'd had at that time.
Right.
And so finally, everybody gets asked their questions, finally comes around to me, and I said, the beings that visited me a few months ago, I'd just like to reach out and ask them where they're from. And it was kind of like a minute or two of non-answers, and all of a sudden it came through as constant monitoring, that they were telling me they're monitoring me for some reason. And then I said, okay, well, where are you from? And then the message constellation came through, like telling me they were from some constellation. And then I got a series of random letters that didn't make a whole lot of sense, and I still haven't figured out what they mean. I'll post them in Twitter once I conclude the call here. And then they said something about it was constellation and something else. I got the picture on my phone. I'll go ahead and put it in Twitter once the call concludes. But the idea that they were saying, oh, we're from a constellation, and I kept asking over and over, where are you from? And they wouldn't quite say specifically. So I said, well, are you guys scared to disclose the information? Because there's so many people sitting at the table. Maybe you don't want to, let anyone know. And they said, no. And I just kept asking, but I didn't get a straight answer. I do have the picture of, we had a woman writing everything down, all the messages that were coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the groupings of letters. And my idea was to bring it to maybe an astronomer at my local college or something to see if they could put it together and figure out if maybe it was the name of a star or something. Because you know how they have these long names, that you can't figure out. But
send it to me. Email it to me. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll email it, and then I'll tweet it out so that everybody else can have it. Maybe we can get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. There is a way to get that decoded and try to figure that out. And look, you know Twitter, you know the Fadernauts.
Oh yeah,
yeah. IPD will be all over it.
I've been doing a little bit of. I've been hanging out with DeFango on his YouTube stream.
Yes,
I'm helping him with some things the last few months, so I'm gonna send it to him. I just thought of that now. I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but yeah, he's unbelievable at puzzles, as everybody knows.
Yep. He's a smart guy. Very interesting, man. When are we going to see you again? Are you coming out west?
100%. I will be at Contact in the Desert this upcoming year, so I'm going to be talking to Dan soon, probably after the 1st, to figure out what's going on with the Fader House, and we'll get it going.
Oh, man. The thought of the Fader House, man, it's just it's chilling. That's all I got to say. Yeah, it's going to be
off the wall,
man. There were a couple of hundred people that were there that got to experience it. Right? They understand. Everybody else, as I nervously laugh, they don't get it. They don't get it. They do not get it. All right, man. So we'll see you in a few months out here in Los Angeles for Contact in the Desert, and I look forward to it. All right. Thank you so much, Kelborn.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Great to hear your voice.
Bye-bye.
That's Kelborn. And the pictures were just posted up there of Kelborn and Michelle, and they were great, man. We had a really, really, really good time. And which actually brings me, look, if you're on hold, stay right there, okay? Phone lines are open, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I've got to head to a break, but I'll just say this. The announcements will be coming very, very, very soon about Contact in the Desert. Please make plans. It is in May out here in the Palm Springs area. Okay, so just get ready and come out and hang out with us. I wish I could say more at this point, but I just can't. But those announcements are coming soon. Contact in the Desert 2018. And wait, oh, man, I wish I could say more. But the speakers this year, ooh, my goodness gracious. All right, this is Fade to Black. It's Fadernight. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
Hello, Fadernauts.
This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go back, Lee Tappy. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go back, Lee Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Let's go to the 9695 line. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live right now. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Man, I hate, somebody's been on hold for that long, and I just got to do it. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Les in Austin, Texas.
Hey, Les in Austin, Texas. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. I don't know if you heard, but on the Ellen DeGeneres show, they interviewed the Las Vegas missing security guard.
I saw clips of it, but what I saw, I want your assessment. But she didn't push the envelope at all.
I didn't see it, but I read up everything I could about it, and a lot of profilers, professional police profilers, have came out and said, "I'm no expert on that stuff." His body, I didn't see it. But they're saying his body language was all wrong, and they would have never passed his test in their test in an investigation. And you're missing. That's a good period to be training you up on what to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus him running from the press conference and disappearing, and then showing up on Ellen where he's getting paid. It just kind of messes. Yeah. It kind of messes with me a little bit, but those three-letter
agencies can put a lot of pressure on you. You can't really beat up on that guy. It's just fishy as heck. And the images I saw of the show showed how they had a perfectly designed little image of the hallway and the whole thing for him to go through is really rehearsed, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's got to, no matter what, if he's, if he's in on it, if he's not, if he's an actor, if he's not, whatever the play is here for the hotel. This is the other thing that most people don't understand that is actually going on in the background. You know that right now, how many lawsuits are flying back and forth? And so the Mandalay.
Oh, my God.
Right. And so he's a security guard for the Mandalay Bay. Now that we have a whole nother set of things that is playing out here with what he is saying. Everybody is suing here. And you have to expect that part of it. But for him going on, he is so rehearsed. Why? For these lawsuits. Aside from the other stuff that's going on, right?
Exactly.
There is a fine Broadway play scripted that is going out here, and he is reading off of a script that's got to fit both agendas. And that's the truth.
And you know what else is interesting is Trump tweets about everything. This is a deep hole of doo-doo that he doesn't even want to touch.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. Well, yeah, and I would like to hear other comments about it. I didn't see the entire thing. I watched snippets of it. I only watched it because I wanted to look into his eyes, and I wasn't comfortable with that. It was just totally rehearsed. Hey, Les, man, thank you.
That'll tell you everything. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Les, for calling in on another Fadernight. Yeah, did you see the interview? I do want to hear from you. I only watched parts of it. I saw enough for me to just back up and go, okay, all right, this is scripted. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live. Yes, you're live. Okay, I don't know what's going on with your phone lines, but
hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on, Jimmy?
Are you on a speakerphone? Who is this?
This is Gil. How you doing, my bud?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
Hey, let's just read a picture of some crafts or something, some lights over Roswell. I sent it to her last week. You responded to me, and you thought they was pretty cool, and you wanted some more photographs. Yes. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I did. I did see those. Very interesting. They were small though, so that's what I wanted to see was the original files off of the cell phone. You know, when you save, off of a cell phone, you can save for small, medium, large, and then original. Right, we want the original file so we can take a look at that and all of the rest of the pictures. Very interesting, man. And what was great about the pictures, but they were small, so I couldn't see a whole lot of detail. But the thing is, exactly the street and the time and the location in Roswell where those were taken. So I do want to see the rest of those, and then I'll be able to comment. But from what I saw from the one image, multiple crafts in the sky is it's pretty great. I just want to see the originals.
Well, those is coming toward off of the west from Alamogordo, White Sands, missile range over in that area, over Capitan Mountains, right?
Right.
So what was funny is that Cynthia, it's my longtime friend, her and her daughter was outside. And her daughter come in and slid underneath the kitchen table. She said, "It's the War of the Worlds." They're Hispanic, and she was freaking out. So what happened was Cindy went out there and she took quite a few pictures, and I've got them lined up. I'm going to send them to read again. What I got, the originals.
Right.
And but I thought it was most interesting. Now living in Roswell. It's the clear skies at night. It's not even a nighttime thing. It's a daytime thing too. Still in Roswell, you can still see all kinds of stuff out there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. No doubt. And see,
so it was just.
I do want to see the rest of those and send them to me. And if you get it done, I'll be able to comment before the end of the show tonight. Okay, so get them over to Rita, and I want to take a look at them. They're amazing.
All right. I'll work with you there, Jimmy. Thanks, man. I love your show. I've got my daughter listening. I'm in East Texas, and she's out in Roswell right now, and she's like, she loves you. So
what's her name?
Brianna.
Hey, Brianna, what is up? Man, I love Roswell, man. Roswell's a cool little town. Thank you so much for the phone call. And Brianna, behave, and I'll talk to you. Thank you so much. Get me those pictures. Right on.
Always, yeah. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. Yeah, the photograph, the image, the one that I saw, everybody, so you know what we're talking about. It's a night shot. You can see the streets. You can see that it's in town, and then right above, right there, is a group of blue lights. I want to say that they were blue, but large. Right? It's a pretty trippy shot, but I'm looking at an image that was this big, and I couldn't blow it up. I want to see the full. I want to see the full thing, and there were multiple shots taken. So there you go. All right, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Paul. I'm calling from Vancouver.
Well, Paul from Vancouver. Hello? Yes. How are you?
Hi. Good. I have something on my mind. I want to throw it out there. Just to get your opinion possibly, or maybe the audience's opinion about it.
Okay.
All right. This thing with John DeLong. Okay.
Tom
there's
DeLong.
A lot of,
Tom
I'm
DeLong.
sorry. It's Tom DeLong.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of questions about it. It's a little confusing. And, the lack of media coverage is an indication that, possibly it's a very benevolent project that he's embarking on. Now, what it is that I want to throw out there that I haven't heard anyone say anything about yet is that maybe our conscious knowledge of this is part of the science that they're trying to get into. Okay, so by us knowing that this is going to happen, or that they're working on this, and us being consciously aware of it, may somehow add to its effectiveness. So that's the thing that I'm throwing out there for you.
So why would that concern you, though? That's the important part of the question.
Well, it doesn't concern. I'm not concerned about it, but I'm interested to, because I think that could very well be the case. It's not a concern. Like, I don't think that it's something that
is not legit. Right.
It isn't legit. I'm thinking that it's something. If they have to tap into it, then this is the avenue in which they could do it, because they're asking for your money. So if you're going to put $200 into something, then that means you're consciously embarking on the success of the project.
Right. And you're not, what I think is key here, and that needs to be driven home with everybody, they're not asking for donations. Okay.
No, they're not.
Right.
They're not, because
they're selling stock.
when you invest in something, you're there's the potential that you're going to get a return, right?
Right. And nobody ever does. Right. If you know what I mean. An investment, it has to be disposable money that you don't care about. I'm trying to look at this in a positive light. I mean, there's all kinds of negative ways you can go with it. Yep.
But I think that potentially there's more positive things that that are, you know, potentially possible with this. So,
I think that if you are going to do this, which is a big idea, a big project, and also risky for everybody's reputation here. So there's that part of it. But if you are going to do it, then this is the first time it's been done this way. SEC filings, you're buying stock.
I think it's the first time that anything's really been done this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of anything like it before.
Yep. And it's going to be interesting how it plays out. What I want to see is, and this is the truth, what I want to see here is I want some disclosure coming out, not disclosure, but I want disclosure of what the technology is. Since it's a public company, they have to start divulging things to the stockholders.
Jimmy, I got to ask you this question because I bet there's a ton of people out here that want to hear your opinion on it. Okay?
Okay.
Why is it that I haven't heard Corey Good or David Wilcox say anything about it yet?
Well,
I haven't heard their opinions yet.
Well,
Jay Wider, who you know, I haven't heard his opinion on it yet.
Right. Well, I'll say this.
Richard Dolan.
Well, hold on. Let me answer. Okay.
Okay.
Let me answer.
All right.
I spoke to Corey today. Corey is actually physically, I can say this, he's posted about it. He's physically moving his family. They're moving from state to state right now.
Colorado,
So we've got a phone call scheduled for this upcoming weekend once he finally gets a little bit settled. So there's that. I was with Wilcock on Saturday night, and we didn't even talk about DeLong. We didn't. It was funny. The subject never came up. So there's that. I talked to Widener today. Okay, so there is I have a little bit of a statement that I'll be making Saturday night on Coast, and they're preparing that on the Nazca Mummies. We tried to get it done in time for the show tonight. We just didn't pull that off. And again, I talked to Widener today for about an hour. Did not talk about DeLong. It was just, we're talking about other things. So, but this is what I will do for you. All right, I'll make you a deal. So you listed, you said Dolan, Wilcock, Good, and Widener. All right, I'll get a statement from each one of them about DeLong. How's that? All right.
Okay, well, and Greer too.
I haven't talked to Greer in a couple of months.
But... Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Thanks for everything that you do, Jimmy. You're great.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. And I really appreciate it. And what you just said, you're absolutely right. The audience does want to hear these things. Okay, so let me see what I can do. All right? You gave me some homework.
Okay, my intention wasn't to call in to challenge you because I admire what you do.
Yeah,
I'm just really fascinated with this whole thing with Tom DeLong.
Yeah, and we all are. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. And he's absolutely right with that. He's 100% correct. What is everybody else thinking here? The ones out there that people listen to, that also influence, and their opinion matters. Okay, so there you go. Richard's show will be on Monday on KGRA right before Fade to Black, and you never know. Maybe he will be talking about DeLong. I don't know if he brought it up last week, but I'll stir that pot. I don't have any issues with that. All right, let me look at the clock. Yeah, we got time for one more call before the break. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, this is Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, I'm calling from Bassett, Virginia. I called in on the 6th, I guess, and I was the guy that said that the cop in the Vegas shooting might have pulled the Ocean's 14, shooting himself in the leg.
Yep.
I remember. It proved out that there's something like that has transpired. There's something there. But I wanted to run something. How much time have I got?
You got about 5 minutes.
Okay, that's good enough. Okay. Here's a theory of mine on this NFL thing. Everybody's taking a knee. I think people are looking at it through me, you, the rest of the country, through red, white, and blue. We've got patriotism running through our veins. We're, we want to see the country do well, but we're not looking at it from a money standpoint. People say, well, now they're shooting the golden goose here. The NFL's going down in flames. My theory is it might be on purpose. Now, hear me out. You got a lot of illegal aliens coming into the country over the years. Last I heard, by 2050, I think the immigrant population will overtake the white population. So they know that the dynamics are changing in the country. You're bringing in people that don't have red, white, and blue. They don't have allegiance to the flag. So why don't we kill the golden goose NFL right now and bring in the National Soccer League? Because you've got a base here with the NFL, 320 million in the United States. You got maybe 100 million that are football fans. I don't know. Let's just throw that number out. How many of those buy jerseys and mugs? No, I don't know. Give them 50 million, okay? But if you bring in the National Soccer League, now you're talking billions. The whole world, the whole globe does soccer. We're the only ones that do football. So from a financial standpoint, shoot this golden goose and bring in the National Soccer League. That's a lot of jerseys, a lot of mugs. What do you think?
It'll never happen.
Never happen?
Ever.
Well, I hope not. I hope not.
Well, let me tell you. Okay. You laid that out. So let me respond. There's no question that football, soccer, is one of the, if not the biggest sport in the world. No question about it. But they have been trying to bring soccer here into the United States and get a foothold here forever. Let me spell this out. This is a subject that I have studied intimately. You can go back to when Pele was signed in 1972, right? Played for New York, and that was going to be it, man. It was going to be soccer was finally going to get here. Fizzled. Beckenbauer. I'm talking about in the early 70s. All of the biggest players came here to the United States, fizzled, paid them money, fizzled. We have had so many different soccer leagues here in the United States, and we have one now. It's okay. It's funded and it's supported, but nobody goes to those games. It will never, ever, ever, ever happen. And I'll give you another example. Formula One racing, huge all around the world. Huge. You cannot make a dent in NASCAR or IndyCar here with Formula One. They've tried it. They raced Formula One at Indianapolis. At Indianapolis, man, built a custom track, fizzled. Right? You cannot. The things that the rest of the world likes, we don't. And the rest of the world, when you look at Major League Baseball. Right? Major League Baseball isn't a worldwide sport, but look how big it is here. Right. It's huge. NBA, huge. There's small NBA around the world. There's National Football Leagues in Canada. There's things that go on. It's small. Mm-hmm. Then you have the NFL. You have the NBA. Like I said, you have NASCAR. Yeah, all of it, and Major League Baseball here in the United States. Major League Soccer, World Cup coming here, it would never happen. Never. Premier League, the way that it runs and all the stuff in Central and South America, all over Europe, that's their thing. We will never have, and this is what you would have to have here. You would have to have some premier teams here, Premier League, soccer teams here in the United States to compete on a world level. Never happened. Never happened, man.
Well, Jimmy, I really hope you're right.
I'm 100%
what
right.
led me in that direction? What led me in that direction was because.
Yeah, no. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you how it is. Sometimes, they say never, right? Never. Well, I'm telling you right now, that will never happen. Ever.
Well, that mindset, where I got that mindset was, I'm trying to step out and look at the big picture. Like if I was a Soros or somebody with billions and I didn't care, I could kill people. I just wanted money and power.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the United States, and we only got 320 million. But and look at it. Let's say from a credit card standpoint, everybody's got 3 credit cards, so it's all maxed out. Your customer base is fat, dumb, and happy. You're not going to buy any more TVs or cars or we've all got 4 or 5 TVs. We got phones. We're fat, dumb, and happy. We're not, we're just stagnant. So from a business standpoint, you turn your eyes over to India, and you got 1.5 billion. You look at China. Nobody has, the phones, the tires, the Chia Pets. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
just from a business standpoint, the heck with the red, white, and blue. It's not about patriotism. It's not about the flag. It's about the money. So you turn your focus from a business standpoint over to the people that need homes and blenders and blow dryers and toothpaste. And you forget about the Americans. They're not. They're used. They're done. That's the way I see it. But,
and I appreciate everybody's point of view. But the good news here, Steve, you're wrong. So be happy about that. Exactly.
I hope so, Jimmy.
Exactly, man.
I hope so.
I love you, man. I love you back. I've never been so happy by telling a caller, a Fadernight, that he's wrong. So there you go, Steve.
Man, I want to be so wrong. Yeah, hey, love you, man.
Yeah,
Take
man.
care.
So when you drive tomorrow, right, you drive to work, smile when you think about, Jimmy said I was wrong. It's going to be a good day.
I'm smiling right now, man. I'm smiling right now. I just throw it out as a theory.
Yeah, I know. I hear
nothing
it.
More than that.
Exactly. Have a great night, Steve, and be safe out there.
Okay, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That, I don't think I've ever said to a caller, to a Fadernight, that they are wrong. But I just did, and I feel good about it, and so does he. So there you go. All right. Oh, man, that was perfect timing. Let's get out of here. Take a break. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. I'll be right back.
Listen to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheT.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hey, can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. The holidays are coming. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight. 323-825-5045. Or 323-275-9695. Open lines all night long. We got one more segment left. And great phone calls tonight. Just absolutely amazing conversation going on. And one of the things that we do here is we compile some really, really amazing news stories. And normally, I squeeze them in throughout Fadernight and so forth. I didn't do that tonight. We just got all sidetracked. Hold on for a second here. Formula One. A few notes for your diary. Okay, let me see here. I want to see what this is. Formula One, United States Grand Prix. Oh man, I was hoping for some stats, but okay. Anyway, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to everybody. And let's see. Oh man, oops. Sorry about that. I just hung up on somebody as I was clicking. Call back. You know what? Call back on the 275 number. I'll put you at the front of the line. I'm sorry about that. Last month, check this story out. Last month, and especially for the rest of the United States, because this is about Hawaii, but But for the rest of the United States, this is a trippy story. Last month in the Pearl City community on Oahu, at a Safeway, a man suddenly grabbed 8 cases of Spam and headed for the door. Spam in the can. Elsewhere on the island at about the same time, 3 women loaded up shopping carts at a Long's drugstore with 18 cases of, you guessed it, Spam. They headed for the door, but they got caught. They escaped. At a shop at a downtown mall, they weren't so lucky. The Honolulu Police Department is now offering a $1,000 reward for a man and an apparent accomplice who entered a store on October 3rd, grabbed a case of Spam, punched a security guard who attempted to stop them. They got away with a case of Spam. Now, what is going on in Hawaii with the Spam thefts? It's gotten so out of control that some businesses now are putting Spam in plastic cases under lock and key, along with the more conventional, more expensive targets, such as electronics or Gillette Power Fusion razor refills. You know how it is, man. You go to the store and certain things are under lock and key. They got the glass thing. You got to go and get an assistant to come up and unlock the thing so you can get your razors out or whatever it is. Axe body spray, whatever. But it's crazy. Now, canned corned beef also is popular in Hawaii, and they're having issues with that too as well. But Spam theft is now an epidemic. You go to a Walgreens right now in Hawaii, all Spam is under lock and key. Seriously, absolutely nuts. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Jay from Louisiana.
This is who from Louisiana?
Jason from Louisiana.
Hey, Jason from Louisiana. How are you, man?
I'm great, man. Jimmy, I just got to tell you, the intro to your show is the best in the business. That's number one. And I don't want to hear nobody arguing about it. I don't want to. It's the best in the business.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, number two, Jimmy, is the whole DeLong thing. I really want to talk about how it goes back to way back Einstein, 1905, talking about gravity waves. They just did a visual to where they just witnessed gravity waves for 2 stars colliding.
Right.
It just seems all pushed out. Bob Lazar talked about gravity waves.
Right.
He explained how these things work. The flux liner crafts. All of these things have some type of circular motion in the craft itself.
Right.
So, I'm the guy that flies wingsuits. So I skydive. I understand, a little bit about aerodynamics.
Right.
The parachutes are getting better. We could fly wingsuits with parachutes now. They have the same glide ratio with the smaller parachutes. So, the technology of just even fabric that you're wearing is getting kind of to the point where it's like we can glide at a ratio with a suit on and almost land it. It's kind of trippy.
What do
so
you?
I don't doubt the whole DeLong.
I don't
all
either.
That stuff.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting? Bob Lazar. We're going to have him on the show, so everybody just be patient about that.
Yeah. Awesome.
But Bob Lazar, this is, and man, one day, Stanton Friedman and I, this was a few years ago, we were doing a panel. Where was it? I think it was Contact in the Desert. And the subject, I brought up Bob Lazar, and Stanton almost lost his lunch, man. And I had to diffuse the situation. But this is what is so interesting about Bob, is that everything that he talked about in 1991, and so he got so ridiculed and taken over the coals, and his education and the lack of this and documentation and all of that. He rode through that. And today, Bob Lazar can walk on water. And he deserves all of that. I mean, he had to disappear. He had to disappear, man.
And he even still has a video on YouTube that talks about the physics and how these things work.
Oh, I
down
love those.
To how he explained. And you know, I wish more people would watch it. And because everything they're talking about today, they witnessed two stars colliding and they saw gravitational waves in a bend in time and space.
Right.
Bob Lazar said that in the 80s.
He did.
You know what I mean? But if people would pay attention to this stuff a little bit more, I think like the Tom DeLonge thing, it all has to do with rotation. Something with rotation, either it's Mercury, electromagnetic pulses into that, I don't know, but it's definitely, everything's rotating.
When he
even the Romanas back in the day,
and when he was speaking on all of those old videos, and I recommend them to anybody, just go and watch. I even today, I can't even tell you how many times, probably over 100 times each I've seen, and I watch them always to try and see if I can trip him up. Right? Can't do it. Cannot. You cannot.
Because he knows his story. He knows what he lived through. That's
you
what
cannot do it. Man, I love Bob Lazar, man. He's one cool cat.
You know, the thing, Jimmy, is a lot of people say, how can these things make 90-degree turns and how can they speed off so fast? Well, they're bending time and space around the craft, so their time and space is different from ours. What we see as dawn is to them just accelerating at a fast pace, you see, or them making a slow turn because it's literally bending time and space around the craft. So that's how I perceive that.
Yeah,
I understand this.
Yeah, the craft itself is in its own gravitational bubble. You know, and so what goes on inside of there is not what is going on outside of the craft. How that happens, you know, it is science fiction, and we're trying to understand that, but it's the only thing that makes sense. We know, you know, you fly, you know, in wingsuits. You understand when somebody says that a pilot, you know, is taking, you know, 9Gs, 7Gs, you know, 8, that is crazy thought.
Oh yeah.
And that's
harsh.
That's harsh in conventional aircraft. Now imagine going 1,000 miles an hour and then making a 90-degree left-hand turn on a dime.
You would splatter across the windshield.
You would
out
be
of the craft completely.
Right.
Be liquid.
The pilot would be 160 pounds of strawberry jam. That, you know, that's
pretty much
that's the way it is. Man, thank you for the phone call, and you're absolutely
appreciate it, Jimmy.
I love it when everybody's talking about gravitational waves these days. You know, we had the big press conference, like you were saying, and gravitational waves. Well, you know what? Oh, Bobby Lazar.
Well, I just thought it was funny.
Bobby Lazar was trying to snap us to attention, you know, 30 years ago about this. So thank you so much.
And then now all of a sudden it's being pushed out with Tom DeLonge and everything else going on.
You got to love it,
I appreciate it, Jimmy.
You got it,
Keep
man.
the fight up, brother.
Man, have a great night. Great phone call right there. Let's stay on the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, Damien from Hamilton.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? Great night.
Yeah, it's
great
always
calls.
Yeah, nothing but great calls. I've you know what's funny is there's 100 people that didn't get through tonight, and I try to do my best to get all of the calls in, but there you go. So what's on your mind tonight?
No, the only thing is, again, good vibes are coming through, Jimmy, and I know it feels like a giant roller coaster. If it's not one thing, it's another. I mean, we're getting thrown all these different distractions. It's almost, they're trying to steer us in certain directions, but like I said, everything's going to be fine. I just want to call in and tell everybody to stay positive.
Yep.
Keep thinking, you know, stay positive, and I know there's a lot of distractions and all that, but that's all I want to say, and everybody to, you know, just stay strong. Good things will come. Just trying to steer us, you know, in certain directions. But, you know, I love everybody. I love the show.
Absolutely.
You guys are doing a great job, Jimmy.
Thank you, Damien, and behave and be well, man. We'll see you Saturday night on Coast, all right?
All right, man. And shout out to everybody out there, and everybody have a good night.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you too, Damien. Great call. Absolutely. Always stay positive. Always stay positive, you know? And, you know, when I say those things, you know what? Negativity has no place in our world. It just doesn't. Walk away from it and then come and hang out with us for 3 hours. And there you go, right? Stay on the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Mate from Florida. How you doing?
Mate, my man. My man. What I just took, look. I got the watch right here in the bunker. I took it off, and there it is.
Oh, nice.
There it is, man. I'm holding it up to the camera right there. Got the case here in the bunker. Got the case. I don't know how you did it, man, but it's absolutely wonderful. You know what I left at home? I don't have it in the bunker, but the instruction manual with my picture on it. So, but I didn't open it. It's still wrapped in the plastic. I don't want to damage it, man. But so cool, man. There you go.
So happy you like it.
Oh, man.
So glad you like it.
All right, enough about the watch, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, just wanted to talk about Formula One just a little bit. Yeah.
You want to talk about Formula One?
Yeah, no, I heard that, the previous caller was saying that, Formula One, you said that too, it's not that popular here. But actually, did you know that Formula One was acquired by an American company called Liberty Media?
Yep, I do.
Yes, I think it's Chase Carey, or what's his name, I think.
Right.
And he's running the show now, the other guy, Ecclestone, is completely out of the picture.
Bernie Ecclestone.
The dictator.
Yes,
He's out. Yeah. And then this new guy, he really wants to Americanize the Formula One.
Good
wants
luck.
To make it popular.
It ain't going to happen. Mate, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I love Formula One. I love football.
Mm-hmm.
I love soccer. I love all that. MotoGP, man. I love all of that stuff. But it ain't going to happen. And look, have one Formula One race here each year. Make it a big one like the Japan Grand Prix or Malaysia, whatever, Dubai. Go and, have one race here. Put all your eggs in one basket and do it up, But look, the World Cup, can you imagine if the World Cup, for whatever reason, came here to the United States? It would be, you couldn't do it. It wouldn't happen.
Soccer World Cup? There was a Soccer World Cup here in the 90s.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah. It sucked.
I mean,
it sucked. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. I love my country. I love the United States. But we like what we like, and that is NASCAR, IndyCar, motocross, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. We're good with that. We don't have room. There's only so much attention span that we have here, and we don't know. This is the thing. We don't know all of the great soccer players. We don't know all of the great Formula One drivers. They don't know. They you know what? If Hamilton could not get arrested in the United States, nobody knows who he is. Rocking it. Nobody knows, man. Schumacher. Schumacher. When Schumacher was the number one paid athlete in the world. Remember that, right?
Sure.
He couldn't. Nobody would ask him for his autograph. He could. He could walk. Nobody knows who.
Him in the state.
Yeah, it's just the way that
what
it
if
is.
There was an American guy, let's say a very famous American Formula One race driver who's running for the championship? Do you think that would change anything, or is it still like?
It wouldn't change a damn thing. It wouldn't, man. It wouldn't. Look, all of those. If you go back and look, like with Le Mans, right? AJ Foyt, right, won Le Mans.
Right. Yep.
If nobody cared about Le Mans in the United States, Mario Andretti, all the, they've all gone over there and tried to, it did nothing for the sport. Not here in the United States. So
you think it's really that case here? Because these guys, these companies, doing everything. Like this weekend, there's going to be a Justin Timberlake and Stevie Wonder concert at the Formula One race. I've never heard of before.
Right.
It looks like they're really trying to make this show happen, but who knows?
They do it. Look, they do it all the time. They do it all the time. And I am a big fan. Mark Turan is posting pictures of MotoGP. Love MotoGP, man. Love it.
Right.
I love it, and I know all the great riders, and I know what's going on there. But by and large, here in the United States, nobody even knows, right? And that's it. I'm not trying to cause problems. I'm not trying to cause a debate or anything. We have tried.
No, I was just main question was, do you think it will ever change, even if there's an American company acquired this whole thing?
No, Coca-Cola could buy it. It wouldn't change a thing. and look, I brought up some really good points. You remember Pele, man, the biggest star in the world, gets signed by New York. Right? And that was supposed to be, I mean, how much bigger of a signing can you do? Didn't change a thing.
Biggest,
and that was almost 50 years ago, man. How many times, this is what's really crazy. The most dynamic moment for soccer here in the United States was with the women, when the women won. And it was great. It was awesome. But then it just went away again. And it was like almost. Here in L.A., I'm trying to think of the soccer team that we have here, the Galaxy, right? Or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, man, they play at the Coliseum, or now I think they're playing at the Honda Center, or they're playing what I don't even know. That's how sad it is. I don't even know where they play. And they got the Herbalife jerseys, and Herbalife is behind them and stuff. But I don't know how many, how many people go to see those. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know who's got teams. I don't know who's winning. I don't know. Nobody knows, so there you go. And that, anyway, no, would it change? Nah. No. Who's your favorite? Okay. Who's your favorite Formula One driver?
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, man. See? Now, could he walk? You live in Miami. If you and Hamilton are going, you guys are in South Beach, walking down at 1 o'clock in the morning, South Beach packed, right? 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You know what South Beach is like at 2 a.m. You and Hamilton are walking down South Beach. Does anybody come up to you? No.
Probably nobody.
No.
There's a lot of lookalikes who look just like him.
Now, you and Hamilton.
I would recognize him.
But you and Hamilton.
I'm European, I know.
You and Hamilton walking through Piccadilly Circus at midnight in London.
That would be different.
It would be. You think?
In London. Yeah,
London.
He's like a
London, Rome, Paris, Berlin. Pick the city. It doesn't matter. It would be mayhem if Hamilton was walking down the street.
Sure.
And it's just the way that it is, and it will just never change. It'll never change. They've been trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. It won't. And we love what we love, and like I said, it's about attention spans. For the American fans to go back and study the history of Formula One or MotoGP or soccer, there's nobody. See, this is the truth, Mate. If you go anywhere around the world and you go up to a 10-year-old kid or a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old, soccer fan, and you go, okay, who won the World Cup in 1960, 1964? They can tell you who the two countries were, who won and who lost every World Cup, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that here in the United States, and they would have to go back and study that. There's no culture. There's nothing there. And that's the difference. And that's what I'm trying to say.
And the same stands for if you go to Europe and ask them who won the baseball championship in 75 or 72, they would know. They have no clue about baseball or American football. It's just like totally non-existent over there. They don't know nothing about that.
Are you okay with that?
It's okay with me. I don't live there anymore. But if I lived in Europe and if I was interested in NFL or baseball league, I would would be a little bit too sad if nobody knows about it. But it depends on what you like,
And see,
different people, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Mate. That your opinion here is so important when we're talking about things like this. Where did you live in Europe?
In Budapest, Hungary.
Okay, so you lived in Hungary, right?
Yeah, I grew up there, yeah.
Do you think that Hungary, in Budapest, do you think that, just like soccer coming here, do you think the NFL could have a football team in Budapest?
Not really, no. I can't really imagine. Just for a show, maybe, for special occasions, but not as an everyday or every weekend sport.
So. Right. And do you care about that? No, right?
No, I do, because I live in America. But when I was, a young boy, I grew up in Hungary, I didn't really care much. I didn't really know what NFL was when I was in my teenage. I was 20 years old. I had no idea.
No idea.
What was NFL. No.
And,
I came to America in the 90s, 95. I lived in New York for 10 years, and that's when I learned about NFL and baseball. And my very first baseball game, when my friends took me, I had no idea what was going on. For like 3 hours, I was like staring at the field and was looking at people while they're jumping up and down, and had no clue what was going on.
And so, we would be the same. We would be the same way, not only with soccer, but with Formula One. I understand it's race cars, but there's a whole different driving style and attitude and history there that we don't understand why Formula One is so cool. We just don't. It's really true. And your opinion here and your points are what I've been trying to say. And I appreciate that. So just thank you. Thank you so much. Mate,
you're welcome.
Thank you for the Fade to Black watch. I mean, I got to tell you, there it is. It's so cool, man. It just thank you. And I'm a big watch guy, and to get something
absolutely.
And to get something
I was hoping you don't have that model yet. Maybe you have that.
Nope, you hit it out of the park, my friend. Thank you so much, Mate. And
thank you.
Go say hi to Baby Martin for me, and you guys just have a great, safe night. We'll see you Saturday on Coast. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Bye, Jimmy. Good night.
I'll talk to you. Mate Meyer, everybody. Thank you, Mate. And I'll tell you something else as we're heading out here. We're at the end of the show. There's another very important point here, why soccer will never succeed. Soccer. No commercials. No commercials, right? They have figured out a way with baseball and with NASCAR too, with football and the NBA for commercials. When you go see a live NBA game or football and it's on TV, you see that the TV timeouts, right? You got to get the commercials in. Soccer, 2 halves. That's it. No commercials, straight through. No, nothing. All the commercials are in the background. You see it, the signs changing on the field. That ain't going to fly here in the States. There's no way to commercialize it. Think about that for a second. Fan attendance is not enough. It's not enough. You got to be able to monetize it, man. And that's the way the United States runs. So if they figure out a way to get commercials in, and man, I'm telling you, soccer fans out there are not going to have the match stop for 3 minutes to run commercials, and then the match continues. That's not the way soccer is played. Think about that. All right? With that, I am out of here. That concludes another week and another Fadernight right here on Fade to Black. Thank you to everybody that called in tonight. And, of course, the one and only Jon Rappoport. Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Fady by Dale. Webmaster, Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication, KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Tomorrow night, we're taking the night off. Saturday night, I'm over at Coast to Coast. My guests are Phil Proctor and Josh Gates. And then, of course, open lines over at Coast. So I'll see everybody over there. And then we're right back here on Monday. Our guest, Dr. Robert Schock. It's a full Giza, Great Pyramid, and Sphinx show. I'll see you guys on Monday. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tepe.